Welcome to Gaming Top Down. Today we're going to be looking at an unboxing and expansion for one of my favorite games, Evergreen. It's a very fun spatial puzzle with some card drafting, and this is the newest expansion called Giant Trees and Mushrooms, which has some height level three trees, tricky to say, I guess, that cast a shadow of the same length. And some mushrooms that we'll see how they work in just a minute. So let's go down to the table and I'll show you what is inside this tiny little box. Okay, I've got the Giant Trees and Mushrooms box right here by the Evergreen board, one of the player boards, with some of the pieces from the base game and the other expansion, Pines and Cacti, just so you can kind of see the size. It's a small box. All the components are meant to fit in the base game box, I believe. So let's open it up. But let's just look at the back real quick. You can see some of the mushroom and giant tree pieces. There's also 14 biome cards, I think 2 player aids, and some other stuff that we'll look at. So let's open this up if we can. Okay, first up are quite a few instruction manuals. They go over the components for both of the modules here, the giant trees and the mushrooms, and how they work. When you're shuffling in a new module, you have to take out the 7 cards of one of the base modules, and you'll place one of these overlays right over top one of the powers in the base game. How the 2 modules work: the giant trees are, like I mentioned at the beginning, they are height of 3, so they cast a shadow of 3, but when they get sunlight, they get 5 points instead of, I believe, the 1 and 2 that the regular trees get. So a lot of reward there, but they will block a lot of your other plants from being able to get shade. So that's kind of their shtick. And then the mushrooms are shown here, and they don't like the sun. They like being in the shade, and I believe they collect, instead of collecting light during the collect light phase, they score points for being in the shade, and they get 2 points if they are a single mushroom and 4 points if they are a double mushroom. Also, after you collect light, a mushroom grows to the next level if it was in the shade. So, but much like the cactus from the first game, excuse me, for the train driving by, they honk right now because the booms on the intersections aren't working. If a mushroom is ever in the shade, I believe they are removed from the game. Let me double check here. I thought it said that. Don't cast any shadow. No, maybe not. But I thought it said that somewhere. Well, we'll double check. Let's just look here. It doesn't show an X on one of those mushrooms. I guess they don't get removed like the cactus. They just don't score points. This one, for example, would be, these 2 would be in the shade, getting 4 and 2 points. This one is not in the shade, doesn't get removed, but scores 0 points and does not grow into a level 2 mushroom because it was in the sun. So quite a bit different with those 2 modules. We also have 4 of these overlays, and much like the first expansion, they go over one of the powers in the base game like this, and you can choose which of those powers you want it to be, or choose randomly. They'll just kind of slot over those spots like this, and then become your new power for the game. Because you can only ever have 6. Okay, let's look at some of these pieces. We've got level 1 mushrooms. They are this orange color here. I'm going to pull over the regular trees from the base game, the cactus, and the level 2 pine from the base game, just so you can see the contrast of colors and size. But here are a couple of those mushrooms. The level 1 mushrooms, that is. And then those are the big trees, so let's find the level 2 mushrooms next. They're a deeper red than the other one and have two kind of mushroom stumps on them. And here compared to the others, again, I like the way the orange and red look. And it's kind of fun. If you mix and match these different modules, you'll have a very different kind of color scheme going on your board. So those are the mushrooms. Let's see if I can hold this like this while I open the giant tree bag with one hand, maybe? And my teeth? Aha, it worked. Oh, they are big. Okay. And this is a giant tree, and you can see it has two kind of, I don't know, bubbles or another layer. It's not way taller than the others, but you can tell that it is taller for sure. They look kind of black here in what you're seeing. I think they're just a very, very, very dark forest green. But they are pretty dark. So those are the big trees and the mushrooms. Very cool looking pieces. A very big thing of silica gel. And then the cards, this is the last little bit here. There's a player aid card for the two different modules in this mini expansion. It explains how the cards work. So you can see the mushrooms have a height of 0. They don't collect sunlight, and they don't cast a shadow, but they get 2 points or 4 points in the shade, and they grow when they're in the shade. Then the giant trees get 5 points whenever they get sunlight, and since they're level 3, I don't think they can be blocked by anything, which is why there's nothing here in this line. And they're a height of 3, 5 points, 3 shadows, and they do build out your forests, and they score twice the fertility amount during the end of the game scoring. So those are really nice to explain how the scoring works at the end of the game. And then a little promo card for the digital game. There are just cards, 7 cards for each of the 2 factions. Looks like the mushroom cards have 2 fertility symbols, and the big tree cards have this symbol, which I believe makes it equal to whichever card this one is set on top of. So if it was in this scenario, this one would also have 2, and so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4 symbols there. So kind of a match the last card played idea there with those cards. And then I believe that is everything in the box. We looked at the mushrooms, we looked at the trees, the cards, the instruction manual. Yeah, I think that is going to do it here for this unboxing of Giant Trees and Mushrooms, the expansion to Evergreen, which is one of my very favorite games. It's pretty relaxing. It's very multiplayer solitaire because you're building your own kind of planet on your own board. You are worried about what other people are doing because the card draft does affect you for sure. But I really like the bit of interaction there is in a spatial puzzle like that. I don't want people messing with my puzzle so much. So really love Evergreen. Excited to try out this expansion. Let me know in the comments if you've played Evergreen or either one of its expansions, Pines and Cacti, or this one, Giant Trees and Mushrooms. Thanks so much for watching this unboxing, and I will see you on the next one. Till then, bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching this video. As most of you know, gaming top-down is an independent endeavor. I don't accept money from publishers for previews or opinion-related content, but there are a few ways that you can support the channel and help me keep the lights on. Liking this video and subscribing to the channel helps me to grow. If you're thinking of getting a game that I covered in this video, please click the affiliate link in the description of this video. It helps to support me and doesn't add any cost to your purchase. I also do a weekly gaming podcast where I talk about the board games that I'm playing along with my brother. You can check that out on Apple's podcasts and on Spotify. And you can also get that podcast 3 days early over on our Patreon. You can follow the Patreon at patreon.com/supergamebrothers completely for free. But if you do support us over there, you get some extra perks like being able to write into the show, getting early access to the show, voting on the games that I'm going to cover and review, and lots of other fun stuff. thanks so much for your support, for liking and commenting on my videos. You really are what helped keep the lights on for me. Thank you.